Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Kelly.
And the greatest driver.
Louise.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Kelly
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, we do have a few safety rules. First, if you need any assistance during the tour or you have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or you have sound or video issues, then reach up and pull the red cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram. As soon as it is safe to do so, I'll be back to assist you. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the tram at all times. The studio is private property. If at any point during the tour you drop your phone or you can't wait to use the restroom, then pull the cord, then remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour, and be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and water effects. You'll want to have your cameras out for great photos, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And finally, for your safety and for those around you, please no use of selfie sticks while you are on board. All right, time for the fun stuff. We are traveling down our movie poster timeline. Movie posters on either side of the tram represent just a few of the thousands of films that Universal has produced throughout the years. It's an exciting time to be here at Universal. We recently entered our second century of filmmaking. It all started back in 1912 with this guy on your screens waving his hat. That's Mr. Carl Laemmle, our founder. So he founded us on the East Coast, found out the weather was better for filming out here on the West Coast, moved out here, and we officially opened up to the public on March 15, 1915. The studio tour officially started in 1964, so we're celebrating our 55th anniversary this year. Carl Laemmle called Universal City the strangest city in the world. We are technically a city. We have our own sheriff's station, our own zip code, and our own fire station. You'll see over here on your right. It's real, it's not a set. Laemmle really believed people would enjoy seeing movie making up close and personal behind the scenes, and he was right. A lot of people showed up back then, and here you guys are today. So as we continue down our timeline, at the tops of these movie posters, you'll notice our iconic Universal Globe logo. It's aging and evolving as the studio ages down the timeline. Our first few years of films didn't open with that logo, but nowadays it's hard to imagine a Universal film not starting this way. And we are headed towards our front lot right now, where films are made inside of our sound stages. One of our films won the Best Picture Oscar this year. That was Green Book. It was our 10th Best Picture Oscar winner of all time. But we don't just do film, we also do TV. Nowadays we are NBC Universal, and one of our biggest TV shows is the singing competition, The Voice. Their home is to your left inside of Soundstage 12. That's the biggest soundstage we have in the lot. It's one of the largest in the world, some really big sets of it inside of it. Like Frankenstein's Lab, Dracula's Castle, Scarface's Mansion, and the Visitor Center from Jurassic Park. So now we're making our way further onto our front lot. This is one of the areas where I am going to turn down my volume a little bit because we're going to be close to these sound stages over here to your left. A lot of cool stuff was filmed here inside of these stages. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. They filmed here for years inside of 4 different sound stages. This is where Britney Spears shot her Oops, I Did It Again music video. Taylor Swift shot her Me music video here. The Jordan Peele film Us used some of our sound stages. Superstore's filming right now. I'm going to go quiet for a second. Alright, so here's what we just passed in those sound stages.
It's hot in here, but let's have some patience for one another.
Yeah, you know, the heat makes us all act.
If your face stays where it is, it's going to get punched.
So Superstore uses the 2 sound stages we just passed, stages 17 and 16. They were in the middle of filming. The actual inside of the store, what you see on your screens, is what's inside of those 2 sound stages. But they also use a 3rd sound stage, and it's this one over to your left behind all these trailers in stage 21. And the trailers are Superstore's trailers. Like I said, they're out here filming today. 21 was previously home to the Mindy Project, the Mindy Kaling show. They're all done now. All of their seasons are up on Hulu. And stage 21 contains a pit that can be filled with water. It is within that soundstage where Steven Spielberg tested the shark from Jaws back in the 1970s. Spielberg used it again in the 90s for some scenes from Jurassic Park. And director Ron Howard used it for Apollo 13. NASA's mission controls inside of it. The NBC show Parenthood used to film inside of these stages stages to your right. They're now being used by the NBC show Good Girls that stars Christina Hendricks from Mad Men, Retta, and Mae Whitman. But other shows that film here include Hollywood Game Night, hosted by Emmy winner Jane Lynch.
Whose name is worth more in Scrabble tiles? Uzo Aduba or David Oyelowo? Uzo Aduba.
On the show, they say that's inside of Jane's house. It's really inside of the sound stages to your right. The Kelly Clarkson Show films here now. The NBC comedy The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. They just finished up their 4th and final season, but their interior shots were inside of these stages to your right. And Family Feud, hosted by Steve Harvey, films here as well. And here are some classic TV shows we have been responsible for throughout the years. TV runs on a fairly quick schedule. One episode takes anywhere from about a week, maybe 2 week stops to complete from the first read through to the final taping. Film is a completely different story. Film takes months, sometimes years to complete. We need hundreds of people to help complete them. Some of those people work to your left in our production bungalows. These bungalows used to be dressing rooms to Hollywood's top stars like Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, and Tony Curtis. They're now where Hollywood's top writers, producers, and directors come to work every day. Illumination Entertainment works here. They brought us all the Despicable Me films, The Minions, The Secret Life of Pets, and Sing. Don't miss this next bungalow coming up on your left, Bungalow 5195. Want to look down next to the door. You're going to see a familiar portrait. That bungalow used to belong to Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, the incomparable director of such classic films as Psycho, Rear Window, Vertigo, and The Burbs. And now to your left, we are next to some new offices and sound stages. So these were built about 2.5 years ago. The first production in them was Hairspray Live. They were then used by Jennifer Lopez for World of Dance, then by America's Got Talent, then by the new seasons of Will and Grace, which is back on NBC on Thursday nights with the original cast members. So that's been a busy area full of a lot of talent. So is this next area we're headed to. We're leaving the front lot behind. We are officially entering our back lot. Out here on the back lot, the world is around the corner at every turn. This is where we come to film our exterior scenes on a very large scale. And right now we are entering our metro sets, our metropolitan city sets. We got a bunch of cities back here. Well, we really just have a few streets, but we can turn these few streets into the streets of any city in the world we want them to be. Boston, London, Atlanta, LA, New York, Chicago, you name it, we can do it. First street you're going to see over here on your right, this is a popular filming location called Brownstone Street. It's where Jim Carrey lived in Bruce Almighty.
Place the door!
I'm in the shower.
Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Oh, you're done now. Great. B-E-A-U.
This is also where Mindy lived on the Mindy Project and was used in Gone Girl, starring Ben Affleck. But now we're headed back to the future. We are entering an area we call Courthouse Square. You guys know it better as Hill Valley from the Back to the Future films, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. So if you look at the building that's to your left and you look at the building that's on your screens, it does look a little different. The 4 columns you see on your screens, they're still back there. They're behind the brick wall because that brick wall and building are not real. That's a set we call a facade. Facade is French for front. That means that's just the front and the side of a building. We don't have to build the complete interior of the building if the camera's not going to go on the inside because your imagination fills in the rest for us. We have to keep changing the looks of our sets because we want to reuse them, but we don't want you recognizing them. Here are some other ways it's been seen throughout the years.
Let's go out. He would like this.
And the way it's dressed up now with that City Hall exterior, Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. They dressed it up that way. But now we are getting our DeLorean tram up to 8 miles an hour, leaving Hill Valley behind. We're not going to go too far. We're just going to turn a corner. But around the corner, we'll be across the country in New York City. I think my co-host Jimmy Fallon knows a little something about living and working in New York because that is where he films The Tonight Show. So live from New York, here's Jimmy.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
A lot of cool TV shows and films have shot out here in our Metro sets. Shows like NCIS, How I Met Your Mother, Comedy Central's Key and Peele, American Ninja Warriors used it a few times. They set up their entire obstacle course out here. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Also really big films like Captain America, The First Avenger, Transformers, Fate of the Furious, and Hobbs and Shaw. They turned New York into London for the big motorcycle chase in the film. So our Metro street sets are pretty cool. There's a really good reason for that. It's because the creative design was supervised by none other than Oscar award-winning director Mr. Steven Spielberg. But Spielberg's not the only Oscar award-winning director Universal has collaborated with throughout the years. Another one is Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. And so I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Yes, everybody, make sure you got your glasses. Also, make sure you got a good hold on all of your belongings. Once we go in, there's no telling what's going to happen to us in there. Remain seated at all times. Please, no use of flash, and enjoy the ride.
The island. Nobody's lived here for hundreds of years. It's so true.
Kids will love the picture cars from the Flintstones. They're basically tricked out golf carts. And if you saw Jurassic World or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you will definitely recognize the gyrosphere.
Look out! Mira los picapiedras. Este es el de la nueva película, era el de...
Some of those cars we just saw do still have engines in them and are still drivable.
Es el de los dinosaurios, sí.
Some of them have taken the engines out. Can't drive those anymore. Why would we do that to ourselves? Sometimes we just want the shell of the car. That way it's very light. We could throw it up in the air, flip it around, and manipulate it. Like we do in our Fast and Furious films. But also kind of like they do in our Jurassic Park films. Ooh, Jurassic Park. Let's go there.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
What they do? The picture cars and props and set pieces on either side of the tram were used in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park films. Fans of the Lost World Jurassic Park might recognize the mobile lab unit coming up on your left. It's the same one that dangled precariously over a cliff in the film. Here's a glance at what that looked like. We do keep some dinosaurs back here. Keep your eyes peeled. They're in their cages. Oh. Oh, that cage is empty. Oh, so is that one. Uh-oh. They might have gotten out. Precariously over a cliff in the film The Lost World, but this wasn't really a cliff. This cliff on your screens, that's actually a parking garage on our front lot we drove by a few minutes ago. It's just camouflage with some set decorations and big greens from our greens department. Also glancing at this screen, you notice that the lighting is dark and they use rain. They use a lot of rain in the first few Jurassic Park films. The rain helped make the dinosaurs look even more terrifying and creepy than they do just on their own as plain old dinosaurs. Weather plays an important role in setting the right mood for a scene, but when we need to create the weather for the scene, it's an interesting challenge. We don't get a lot of weather here in sunny Southern California, and that is why the movie business moved here in the first place. Here with a little bit more on weather is the Today Show's Al Roker.
Hi everybody, here's today's forecast for the Universal Backlot. It's going to be sunny and dry in 6 Points, Texas. Clear and cloudy in Little Europe. Expect snow and sleet on New York Street, and we've got a high chance of fog and precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Island Blanc. That's your forecast for today. Now here's a look at what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, what's happening here, Al? We're in Old Mexico. It's raining. Al says flash flood warning. Well, that can't be right. You can see that rain's not real. It's kind of only happening on the left side of the tram. That rain is the result of an overhead sprinkler system. It's just shooting the water up in the air, then it falls down to the earth in a natural-looking way just using gravity. Now, on screen, this looks real. It's exactly how we create rain for TV and film. However, this is a really old part of our lot. We're actually not supposed to let this effect go on for too long. This weird stuff's happening back here, but oh, it's happening. Everybody, hold on. We did have a flash flood. Al Roker was right. That one wasn't real either, though. That's recycled water being released from tanks at the top of the hill. Here's what that looked like in Big Fat Liar.
You can't outrun the Wolf King! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, funny
Old Mexico's also been seen in Nacho Libre with Jack Black. Three Amigos with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase in Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. But we are crossing the border right now onto the streets of the Old West. Welcome to 6 Points, Texas, y'all. If you're a Western fan, this is the part of our backlot for you. Countless TV and film Western shot back here in 6 Points, Texas. Big Western stars walk these streets, but so did Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio for Quentin Tarantino's latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You guys might recognize these sets. They worked back here for a few weeks on that, especially over here to your left. They shot both exterior scenes out here in the street, also interior scenes inside of the buildings to your left. But here's another old-fashioned Western duel that's shot back here.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on me, Fallon. Now get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
And this area is called 6 Points, Texas, because we have 6 distinct streets. Back in the silent film era, when sound did not matter, a different film could be shot on each street at the exact same time, so 6 films could be shot at once. So our tour is not about the halfway mark. I'm required to remind everybody to stay seated. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or can't wait to use the restroom, then pull the cord to get my attention. I'll be back to assist you. Otherwise, remain seated on the tram. And earlier in the tour, I told you guys out here on the back lot, the world's around the corner at every turn. That's very true right now. We left the Old West here, left this water. That's actually the Black Lagoon from the creature from the Black Lagoon. That's very appropriate because now we're going to make a little turn. You guys are going to see parts of what we call Little Europe. It's straight ahead of you right now, but as we turn, it'll be these cute buildings to your left. This is where the original monster movie film shot exterior scenes like Frankenstein and Dracula, but nowadays that is the good place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife.
And they are next door to Hallmark Channel's Home and Family. To your left behind these trailers, there's a house in a backyard, and that's their set. They film over there Monday through Friday. Whenever anybody is filming, it's what we call a hot set. We just got the green light to go into our very own hot set right now. This is Soundstage 50. They've been shooting a film in here, but every time they go on break, they give us the green light to go in, so you can see what the inside of a soundstage looks like. Make sure you remain seated as we check this out. We're not allowed to stay in here very long. If you're a fan of the Fox show Bones, you might recognize the way this soundstage is dressed up. They shot this in here. It's a rare soundstage because it's 2 stories. There's a street scene built above us with a tanker up there. Apparently it was important to the director of the... Very nice. Those are good trimmers. The director asked me, okay, everybody hold on. Uh-oh, look how the back sheet seats falling in. Okay. All right, I think it's over. Let's get out of here before the water main breaks. That thing breaks here. Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, you just survived Earthquake the Big One, a recreation of a very large-scale earthquake. That is a great example of the large-scale mechanical effects that we have available to us here at Universal that we use in our disaster films. And I was not lying to you, that soundstage, that set, and those special effects were really used on the Fox show Bones. Here's what it looks like when they are cut together for TV.
What's going on?
Pretty cool, right? Now that's exactly what we just lived there, except we were in there a little under 2 minutes. It would have taken them a lot longer than that to rehearse the scene, shoot the scene, do the whole post-production process on the scene. Post-production is the editing, the adding in of sound effects. There's so much stuff that goes into just a few moments of TV and film. So now we're on our back streets of 6 Points, Texas. It's actually back in this area where, if you saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Brad Pitt's character drops off Leonardo DiCaprio's character for his day of filming. It was on this side, and then the filming took place on the inside of our sets. But I told you guys this area is called 6 Points because we have 6 streets. There's one street that's all alone over to your left beyond that trailer. That's the oldest street in all of 6 Points, therefore one of the oldest parts of the entire backlot. If you're a fan of Jurassic Park, you might be aware Michael Crichton wrote the original Jurassic Park novels, so it's kind of funny, many years later Spielberg went on to direct those films to great acclaim. You've heard Spielberg's name a few times in the tour already. He was actually offered that Hitchcock bungalow we passed earlier, but he did not want to take it.
You said he could move into that office. I said, no, I can never be in Hitchcock's office. That should be a shrine, a museum.
Very exciting, just to know that he was there and walk by and know he was in that office.
Hitchcock has influenced every director.
I saw Hitchcock once walking around the commissary.
Hitchcock had his bungalow on the lot. I used to go see Alfred Hitchcock.
I loved working with him. I highly respect him. He really understood fear and terror.
The Birds? That was a really scary movie.
The Birds? Oh, man. That had me looking at crows like for the next 10 years.
Psycho, of course.
Vertigo was one of the all-time great masterpieces. Hitchcock was master.
We'll talk a little bit more about Alfred Hitchcock later on in the tour, but for now, here's a little bit more on Spielberg from Spielberg.
When I was about, 16 years old, and I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. When I went to college nearby, I continued to come on the lot and try to become a director. So Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is the place I consider my first home, and I love it here, and I keep coming back.
And again, you guys are going to hear more about Spielberg later on in the tour, too. Actually, the street we're on right now, it continues up in curves, but this street's actually called Steven Spielberg Drive. So since we're so close to our sets over here to your right, let me tell you some tricks we use in our sets. They're easier to see kind of in our Metro sets because there are more bricks in our Metro sets, but the bricks and stones that we use mostly in our backlot sets. They're not real. They're either made out of foam rubber, so they're soft and squishy bricks when you touch them, or they're made out of a fiberglass exterior. That's so we can change the looks of our sets kind of quickly and cost effectively, and reuse them in a ton of different stuff without you recognizing them. We also use something called forced perspective on our windows. So with forced perspective, basically the further away something is to the human eye, the smaller it appears. So our windows on the bottom we make a little bit bigger, and then the higher up you look, we make them a little bit smaller, and that tricks your eye. We're going to bypass through Jaws, but you guys are getting the Steven Spielberg experience because the shark never worked for him either.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there and it was support. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Spielberg named that shark Bruce on set. He named him Bruce after his attorney, also named Bruce. And that area was actually also Cabot Cove from Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, had 12 very successful seasons. Murder, She Wrote also used this house to your right. The backyard of the house was her backyard on the show. We call this house our chicken ranch. It's been used in a ton of different TV and film. And the chicken ranch is what we call a practical set, meaning it's a real house on the inside, so you can film on the inside if you want. But the yellow house behind it, that's the facade. See how fake it is, just go around the back of it. And also as we pull forward, make sure you look down the street that's to your left. This is the entrance to Wisteria Lane, home to ABC's Desperate Housewives. The real name of that street is Colonial Street. It's been around a lot longer than the Desperate Housewives have, used by a lot of other productions throughout the years. But sometimes our scripts call for sets that need to be a little more fanciful, and there's no better example of that than Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which shot right here at Universal. It starred Jim Carrey as the mean old Grinch, and it was directed by Ron Howard.
One of the biggest creative challenges that we faced on How the Grinch Stole Christmas was to bring the storybook world of Dr. Seuss to life. Some of the most talented artists in Hollywood worked for months to create a living, breathing Whoville. When it was all done, they had built an entire city, and the fantasy world of Dr. Seuss became a reality.
The Grinch was a humongous production. They used 11 sound stages. One sound stage was just for putting all of the Who's into their Who makeup and Who noses. They also used a large portion of our backlot, and around this corner are some exterior sets from the film.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
And the Grinch was a really bad neighbor, but if you ask me, the Who's of Whoville have a much worse neighbor out here on the backlot. Because on the backlot, they live next door to a psycho. They live next door to Norman Bates, star of Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller Psycho. This is the Bates Motel. At the top of the hill, you'll see the Psycho house. And am I psycho, or did I just spy with my little eye the silhouette of what looked like Norman Bates? I don't know, let's hang out here a second, see if I'm right. Ooh, okay, yeah, what's he up to? Oh no. Uh-oh.
Let's go!
How could you be scared of? Bye, Norman. That was super rude, pulling out a knife. The Bates Motel and Psycho House are two examples of two of the oldest, most classic sets still standing in Hollywood today. But as we turn the corner, we turn into one of the most colossal movie sets ever constructed, the plane crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise. This is what remains of the neighborhood where Tom Cruise hides out in the film. On your left, that is a real 747 airplane.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
We put together to sit down to talk about the War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep listen to me. Listen now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Got them closed? Bobby, get in. Get in.
So we're now about 10 minutes away from the end of the tour. Just a reminder, pull the emergency cord if you need assistance and remain seated. So we just pulled back out onto Steven Spielberg Drive. Back and to your right, there is a humongous blue wall. It is the world's largest freestanding green screen, or blue screen. It's blue right now. There's a really big pit in front of it. We'll get a better view of it as we pull forward. But we could fill that pit up with water and shoot big water scenes over there, like this from Psycho. Spoiler alert if you've never seen Psycho before. Or we can make it look like an ocean. You'll see it over to your right beyond those trees. Jurassic World also filmed out there. Hunger Games Catching Fire, Inception, Dunkirk, and Bumblebee. I'm going to show you a longer look at a scene from Sully that shot out there. For Sully, the plane was really out there in the middle of water, so were the actors, but the city and sky are fake. They are CGI.
Evacuate.
Computer-generated imagery put onto that blue wall in the editing process. So that whole background on your screens, that's just the blue wall. You can do just about anything with CGI nowadays. Oh, we're getting a message. What's going on?
Look, this might be more serious than I thought.
What?
What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are?
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come, and he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
Okay, thanks. So he wants us to hide out in here, but I'm surprised this is what he chose. It's like a known street racer party hangout on the back lot. I can hear the music blaring from the party going on next door. Sounds fun. You don't need to put on your 3D glasses yet, but do have them ready. Let's just be prepared for anything. Make sure you remain seated, and now I think we just hang out and await further instruction.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while, so we brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
Ooh, we got an invite to the party going on next door. This will be fun. So when we do go in, you still don't need to put on your 3D glasses. For now, we could just enjoy the party from our seats. Now we just hang out a sec, wait for them to let us in. Maybe pre-party a little.
Yo!
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party, and where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got you. It's lightweight.
First of all, I don't work for you. Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours.
Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Okay, pulled over in trouble. We've been traced by Shaw. You do need to put on your 3D glasses now. No cell phones, no flash photography. Got a hideout incognito in this parking garage. We gotta hope that Dom and his crew can actually help to keep us safe. It's not sounding too good out there.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
Move! After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime. Come in the left. This thing ain't moving fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up.
Hit it!
Now we're moving.
Dad, look out!
You give me the witness, Toretto, and we call it a day! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Call it the trams!
Way to go, Letty. Not gonna happen.
No!
Don't worry, I got this. Hit the nitrous.
We're not gonna make it!
Try to die.
Curious indeed. That was supercharged. You don't need your 3D glasses on anymore.
Over job, everybody. You protected the witness and you can resume breathing.
You know it's crazy out there. You guys read hard. Respect.
You know, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
So that blockbuster action sequence we just experienced is a great example of modern day filmmaking, and for over 100 years Universal Studios has been thrilling audiences around the globe by making them laugh or cry or sit on the edge of their seats. Now we are nearing the end of our tour. On behalf of myself, again, I'm Kelly, our driver Luis, my co-host Jimmy Fallon, and everybody here at NBC Universal, thank you for taking the world famous studio tour.